Hey guys, how's it going? These are your daily fantasy baseball matchups for August 12th, 2020. First game on the slate for today, 1 o'clock game, Chicago White Sox at Detroit Tigers. Dylan Cease versus Matthew Boyd. Both are interesting options to pick up. No batters of note for the Tigers lineup today, per usual. The White Sox lineup has 3 interesting choices, each with 2 home runs in their career versus Adam Cease, Eloy Jimenez, Jose Abreu, Edwin Encarnacion. The next game is Diamondbacks at Rockies, Luke Weaver at Antonio Senzatella, Colorado. So you don't necessarily want to avoid Colorado pitchers. There was a really good game thrown there last night. And sometimes getting these Colorado pitchers, guys at Colorado, can give you an edge because no one else is picking them up. Batters that are good for today, Arenado, Story, Blackmon. Not much that changes there. Blackmon's been on a tear. For the Diamondbacks, Christian Walker is the only guy with a home run in his career versus Luke Weaver. So I would avoid all Diamondbacks guys today. Senzatella, my bad. Oakland Athletics at Los Angeles Angels. Chris Bassitt at Griffin Canning. Pujols with 1 home run against Bassitt in his career. Laureano with 2 versus Canning. Simeon with 1 and Canna with 1. I would take a look at Canna and Matt Olson today. Right here we have Kyle Hendricks at Carlos Carrasco, Cubs at Cleveland. Kyle Hendricks is a guy I like, but he gets hit hard sometimes, so I would be a little hesitant. He gives up the long ball. 1 home run for Luplow versus Kendricks. And for the Cubs, no hitters of note, not enough stats versus Carrasco. Miami Marlins at Blue Jays. Both pitchers have never versed any batters. Nate Pearson's looked pretty good. I'm surprised his price is that low against Miami. I mean, I'm taking Nate Pearson tonight in a couple DFS things because he's just looked like one of the best pitchers in baseball since he came up. Kansas City Royals at Cincinnati Reds. Brad Keller at Wade Miley. Nick Castellanos with only 12 plate appearances and a horrible OPS average and on-base percentage. I can't imagine Castellanos struggling against Keller anymore. I would like to believe that those numbers are from when Castellanos was in the AL Central, and ever since he's made the switch from the NL Central last year when he joined the Cubs, Castellanos has been without a doubt, if not the best hitter in baseball. So don't shy away from Castellanos ever this year. I don't care who Castellanos is playing this year. He's obviously a different batter, and he's obviously one of the best guys in MLB. I don't think it's going to slow down. He's like what Christian Yelich was doing last year. Castellanos is doing that this year. Wade Miley versus the Royals, I think could be a good start for Miley. Got a veteran pitcher. Once he gets past the power bats, there's just a lot of singles guys like Alex Gordon, Nicky Lopez, Whit Merrifield. Not too much pop in those bats. So I think Miley could put together some success, especially, he's not pitching in Kansas City. He's pitching in Cincinnati, so it's going to be hard to avoid that long ball. Atlanta Braves at New York Yankees. I got Tukey wrong yesterday. Tukey got shelled yesterday in New York. 5 runs in 4 innings. Tanaka today is looking kind of good, actually. Tanaka's been ramping up. 1 home run for Freddie Freeman and 3 at-bats. Not too many at-bats, so these OPSs might look high, but yeah, if he gets 1 home run and 3, it's going to be high. 3 plate appearances, nothing really meaningful. Bryce Harper, 1 home run in his career versus Wade LeBlanc. Harper's been hot. I would keep plugging Harper in at least one of my lineups every day. You know, same with Harper and Blackmon. You should have them in one lineup every day from now on. They're just clicking it. These pitchers for Baltimore at Phillies are Wade LeBlanc and Zach Eflin. Chance Sisco is interesting. He doesn't get enough playing time, but if he ever gets traded, he's a guy that when he gets playing time, he'll be a pretty solid option for daily fantasy. But right now, Orioles are kind of just splitting time, and then they have obviously Adley Rutschman, one of the best catching. They have the best catching prospect in baseball, so Sisco will not ever be an everyday player for the Orioles, I'll imagine. But the problem in baseball is that very few catchers are everyday players. With the exception of Real Muto and Gary Sanchez, I don't think I know of any catchers that really start more than 130 games, 40 games if they're not getting injured. Even Wilson Ramos, as good as he is, I think he starts about 115, 120. They really just try to make sure these guys don't get hurt. So always make sure your catcher that you chose for the day, you got to check that right before game time and make sure your catcher is starting. You don't want to miss points. You don't want to miss out on getting points because your catcher just never started the game. San Francisco Giants at Houston Astros. Trevor Cahill versus Zach Greinke. Cahill's going for a great price. The Astros have been struggling, but they could always break out. Yuri Gurriel, surprising here, 19 plate appearances, 3 home runs for the contact king, Yuri Gurriel. I'll definitely take him today for 2,900. Bregman's a guy I never really get to pick up because he's too much money. So Gurriel's my play for the Astros lineup today. For this Giants lineup, Austin Slater, I kind of want to look at him because he's been having some good games. Not even based on the 2 plate appearances, but I've seen him have some good games recently. It's like they have some guys in this Giants lineup that have kind of came out of nowhere. They have this guy in Donovan Soliano. Just Stremski's just been on. But I can't make any calls for today. Not really enough. 2 home runs for Brandon Belt in 40 plate appearances. Hunter Pence, 2 home runs in 40 plate appearances. I mean, they've been versing Greinke for 10 years now. And all of these guys have changed now. Brandon Belt and Hunter Pence probably hit those home runs in like 2014. They're just not the hitters they used to be. They seem to be struggling more so than they ever have in their career. Maybe look at Evan Longoria, though, today because he seems to have more juice in him this year. Maybe he actually has real juice in him. I don't know, but he seems to be hitting the ball better than he was the past couple of years. Minnesota Twins at Milwaukee Brewers. Kenta Maeda at Eric Lauer. No data for Lauer to note on, but Maeda has some data against this Brewers lineup. No home runs for this Brewers lineup versus Maeda, so it's always kind of annoying to see. You like to have a guy that you can hang on to. Oh, he got a home run against this guy. I can trust him. But Jed Jerko with the high OPS and 7 at-bats, I'll take that. Ryan Braun with the 1,000 OPS, I mean, I'll take that from Ryan Braun. I'll take Yelich today, too. He seems to be putting it back together. This Brewers lineup maybe is due for some big breakout games. Maybe you want to look at them to stack one day. I just don't know if Maeda is the best guy to stack them against. A lot of off-speed, funky stuff, splitters. That seems to really hurt these lineups, these young lineups, when you got a veteran pitcher that just comes in and gets them off balance. Anibal Sanchez, another example of a veteran pitcher that gets lineups off balance. Nationals at Mets. Sanchez ain't gonna blow anything by people, but he's gonna get guys out that are chasing the long ball. 3 home runs for Brian Dozier versus Anibal Sanchez. 1 home run for Pete Alonso. I would like to say pick up Pete Alonso in the hope that he turns around, but I don't think it's good to pick up a cold hitter in the hopes that they're going to turn around. I think it's good to pick up a hitter that is having a good batting average or a good on-base percentage and hasn't hit a long ball yet. I think that's great. When a guy has a high on-base percentage and a high batting average and he still has 0 home runs, yeah, pick him up because he's due to flick one over the fence eventually. But when a guy like Alonso has like a 150 batting average and he's only getting on base like 250 or 300 or not even that, then I'm not picking him up until he breaks out. I don't care if I miss his breakout game or his 2 breakout games. Because if you've been picking up Alonso in the hopes that he turns it around for the past 2 weeks, all you've been getting is zeros on the board. I'll take Brian Dozier today if they let him play. 3 home runs in his career. Tampa Bay Rays at Boston Red Sox. Blake Snell versus Zach Not So Godly. No hitters I like in this Red Sox lineup today. So kind of surprised JD Martinez is that bad against against Blake Snell. So maybe I'll actually take JD Martinez in hopes that that's just small sample size or something, because his price is going to be discounted based off these numbers because they know he struggles against Snell. Therefore, he'll be cheaper today. But maybe bet on the fact that he won't struggle against Snell too much, and the fact that Snell's not going to go too deep in the game because he's not ramped up yet. Zach Godley versus the Rays. Not a lot of at-bats besides Renfroe and Margot, and they are not going to be guys you pick up at all. Meadows, I'm looking at Meadows. I'm looking at Zunino. Not really looking at Choi. Meadows and Zeno today in the Rays lineup. Very interesting. Seattle Mariners at Texas Rangers. Taijuan Walker versus Jordan Lyles. Lyles has only faced 2 of these Mariners batters in Kyle Seager and Dee Gordon. Dee Gordon has a crazy high OPS but no home runs. I don't think Dee Gordon's playing for this Mariners lineup anymore, starting for them, so he's not really a guy. He shows up on these things because he's versed a lot of pitchers, but he's not getting everyday starts. He's not a guy you should really ever be targeting for DFS, and he's not going to get you home runs. He's not on the juice anymore. But Taijuan Walker versus the Rangers lineup. Odor, pick him up. Chu, pick him up. Yeah, Odor and Chu, pick them up. This is our last game of the day, as it usually is, the Dodgers game. San Diego Padres at Los Angeles Dodgers. I feel like these teams are playing all the time. Zach Davies. I don't think anyone's picking up Zach Davies today, man, against this Dodgers lineup. Bellinger with a home run in his career. Pick him up. Justin Turner, Corey Seager. Seager's not starting anymore, so you can't pick him up. Turner hasn't had a good average or on-base percentage. Not even a good OPS, just a home run and 15 at-bats and 3 hits. So Bellinger, Muncy, those are going to be your guys today versus Davies. But if you want to stack the Dodgers lineup versus a guy like Davies, go ahead and do it. They could easily put up a 6 spot. Something I've seen on DraftKings was you cannot have more than 5 hitters on a same team. So you have to keep that in mind if you're trying to stack an offense. You have to max it out at 4 batters or 5 batters, no more than that. But I would love to have Cody Bellinger, Max Muncy, Justin Turner, Jock Peterson, AJ Pollock, all of them in the lineup today. Julio Urias starting for the Dodgers. Definitely take a look at him. I mean, he's going for $200 more than Davies, and I think he'll get you way more production. So Julio Urias to pick up as a pitcher today. In his career versus these Padres hitters, not too much success. Machado has an 800 OPS. Tommy Pham in 2 at-bats, 1,000 OPS. Francisco Mejia and Greg Garcia, Will Myers, Fernando Tatis, nothing. Tatis, 1 plate appearance. It is a lefty, so I would say pick up Machado without a doubt today. Machado's a lefty beast. And if you want to pay the money, Tatis, because he's been hot, obviously he's versus the lefty. But I would definitely take a look at Machado today. And that's it for today, guys. Good luck, and have a good one.